Hello guys, what is up and welcome to today's video. It has been a bit, not gonna lie, you guys have probably noticed, but that's not the point of this video. The point of today's video is Psalm 121. So, that's today's video is about Psalm 121. I love this psalm so much for multiple reasons, but I really love it for when you're feeling anxious or fearful or anything like that. Like literally I have like 3 specific like psalms, or I have 2 psalms and then this one other part of the Bible that whenever I'm feeling anxious I just go through and read it and like repeat it, and this is one of them, and I've memorized this psalm and it's like literally one of the most encouraging psalms for fear that I could think of. So I'm going to be going through that today and I really hope you guys enjoy it. This psalm, I never really started reading it until a while ago. One of my friends told me about it. I was like feeling anxious and she said I should read that psalm, so I read it and I was like, this is the best psalm I've ever read, and so now it's like completely all highlighted and everything. So let's go ahead and start. So I'm just gonna start and read the whole psalm, and then I'm gonna go back through and talk about it, and then talk about the commentary and stuff like that. So just a little preface, this is from a commentary I read. It's by the Enduring Word commentary. It's the app that I talked about in my last video, but it says, this is the second of the series of psalms titled A Song of Ascents. As a song sung by travelers, this is particularly relevant for its trust in God through the journey. So, now I'm gonna read it. A Song of Ascents. I lift up my eyes to the hills. From where does my help come? My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip. He who keeps you will not slumber. Behold, he who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shadow at your right hand. The sun will not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all evil. He will keep your life. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in from this time forth and forevermore. So, the first thing I want to talk about in verse 1, I lift up my eyes to the hills, from where does my help come? A thought that I had on this verse when it says I lift up my eyes to the hills, this writer could be saying that he's lifting his eyes to the hills to like seek God's face and to like be looking up towards heaven. In this commentary it says, the singer of Psalm 121 looked to the hills. He's still far from the appointed place of worship because he's likely traveling to Jerusalem, but he's not far from God, however. And that point is really powerful. The seeker understood that they didn't need to arrive at Jerusalem before they were under God's protective care. God is just as present in the journey as in the destination. I'm going to say that again. God is just as present in the journey as he is in the destination. Just think about that for a second. I'll let you think about that on your own, but that's just an amazing statement when you really think about it, that like he cares about being with you just as much as he does on your journey and while you're enduring suffering or whatever, as he does whenever you get to the destination, whenever you've endured it. Verse 2, my help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. So this is from the commentary. The traveler looked to most likely Jerusalem as his goal, yet his trust was not in that city itself. Help could come from the God who made heaven and earth. The Creator would be his helper. Alright, moving on to verse 3. He will not let your foot slip. He who keeps you will not slumber. Behold, he who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. So, from the commentary, he will not let your foot slip. God would help his people by establishing them in a firm place. For the Christian, this reminds them of the principles found in Ephesians 6:11 and 13. And Ephesians 6:11 and 13 says, verse 11, put on the whole armor of God that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil. Verse 13, Therefore, take up the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand firm. That the believer is to find a place to stand, and this can only be done by looking to the Lord and trusting He who will not allow your foot to be moved. We can stand in grace, we stand in the gospel, we stand in courage and strength, we stand in faith, and so many other things. But the goal is that we should stand perfect and complete in the will of God. In verse 4, he who keeps you will not slumber. Behold, he who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. This was just a thought that I had, not from the commentary. God will never rest from helping his people, even when so many other people in the world are praying at the same time as you, even when so many other people are sick, so many people are suffering, so many people are whatever they're going through. God will not say this person's prayer is the most important, so you can wait, I'll answer your prayer whenever I have time. He is attentive to everybody's prayers, no matter how many people are praying to him at the same time. He doesn't say one person's prayer, one person is more worthy of an answered prayer than somebody else, or I'm going to answer this person's prayer first. He is attentive to everyone that prays to him, and he will not rest from helping us. He wants to bless us. Alright, this is from the commentary, the phrase, he who keeps you. This is the first of 6 times in this short psalm that the Hebrew word shamar, translated keeps and preserve, is used. The theme is that God will watch over his people as a watchman watches the city. The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shadow on your right hand. So, from the commentary, the Lord is your shadow at your right hand. The sun rays in the Middle East can assault the traveler. God promised to care for the traveler with a thought that goes back to the cloud by day that followed Israel in the wilderness from Egypt and shielded them from the sun. So God is like our shade or our shield, protecting us from all evil. Just like he protected Israel in the wilderness with the cloud, he protected them from the sun. Alright, verse 6. The sun shall not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. Which I think is saying God will protect you endlessly. It's trying to show that God won't just protect you when he thinks you need it most, or you think you need it most, or you want it most, or things like that. But he will protect you day and night and throughout your entire life, and he will never stop protecting you because that's his will. And so this just goes to show that like he is not changing, but he will always protect you. Verse 7, the Lord will keep you from all evil. He will keep your life. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in from this time forth and forevermore. So that means that like anytime you're coming and you're going, anytime you leave the house, anytime you go to the store, anytime you go to church, anytime you come back to your house, wherever you're going, wherever you're coming back from, he's watching over you and he sees what you're going through. You could be really scared of something, whatever you're scared of, but he's watching over you and he knows what's going to happen. Something that I find really comforting in any situation that sometimes I forget about because it seems so cliche is that God knows how every single situation is going to end. He ultimately knows everything about your life, everything that you're going to go through. And so you can just rest in that and know that whatever happens, you don't have to worry because God hears your prayer, and we can have confidence that even if our worst fear does come true, God is on our side and he will deliver us. I like to think of the verses about like when it talks about how much God cares for like the sparrows and things like that, and the flowers of the field and how he protects them, and how much more important we are to him than they are, and how much more he cares for us. Not saying that like he doesn't care for the birds or whatever, but just like how we are his chosen people and how he wouldn't care any less for us than he does for the birds or the flowers. So when you get that kind of perspective, I find that really comforting. So I think that is pretty much all I have to say on this passage, but I really, really, really like this passage. I would really advise you to memorize this, especially if you're really dealing with anxiety or fear or things like that, and just keep it in your brain, in your little collection of verses. You know, I feel like everybody has that little collection. Whenever they're praying, they just throw out some random verses. I would highly recommend adding this one to your collection. because as you can probably tell, I really like this psalm. It's like, yeah, I really like it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and that it encouraged you and that it helped you out in some way, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!